We are living through the beginning of a new industrial revolution. If you look back at history, every major leap in human civilization was defined by the way we harnessed energy and the way we processed information. In the first industrial revolution, we harnessed steam and water to automate manual labor. In the second, we harnessed electricity for mass production. In the third, we used the silicon chip to automate basic calculation. But what is happening right now, at this very moment, is fundamentally different. We are no longer just building tools that follow instructions. We are building intelligence. This is the iPhone moment for artificial intelligence, but it is moving 1,000 times faster. The shift we are seeing today is the transition from a world of general-purpose computing to a world of accelerated computing and generative AI. And the most profound implication of this shift is one that might sound scary to some, but I see it as the most extraordinary opportunity in history. Your next coworker is going to be made of metal. For the last 60 years, the world of computing has been defined by the CPU. We wrote software, line by line, giving the machine explicit instructions on what to do. If the programmer didn't think of a scenario, the machine didn't know how to handle it. We lived by the grace of Moore's law, expecting that transistors would get smaller and faster every 2 years. But the physics of the universe have reached a limit. Moore's law is dead. We can no longer just wait for the hardware to get faster to solve our problems. This is why NVIDIA chose the hard path. Decades ago, we realized that to solve the world's most complex problems that the CPU simply could not touch, we had to rethink the entire stack. We had to move toward accelerated computing. We had to use the GPU, a parallel processing engine, to do the heavy lifting of simulating reality. This transition has led us directly to where we are today. We have moved from software 1.0, where humans write the code, to software 2.0, where data writes the code. We are now producing tokens of intelligence. And these tokens are not going to stay confined inside your laptop or behind a chat interface. They are moving into the physical world. This is what I call physical AI. When I say your next coworker is metal, I'm talking about the rise of humanoid robotics and autonomous machines. We are entering an era where the robots will not be hidden behind safety cages in a factory. They will be working alongside us, perceiving the world as we do, reasoning through problems as we do, and performing tasks that were previously thought to be uniquely human. To reach this point, we had to solve impossible problems that no one else wanted to touch. How do you teach a machine to understand the laws of physics? How do you teach it to walk across a cluttered floor or to pick up a fragile object without breaking it? You cannot do this by writing code. You have to do it through simulation. You have to create a digital twin of the world. This is why we built the Omniverse. We realized that for a robot to be safe and effective in the physical world, it has to be trained millions of times in a digital world first. It has to experience every possible failure, every slip, every collision in a virtual environment where the cost of failure is zero. Only then can it step into the metal body and become a productive member of our workforce. I've always believed that the work of your life should be to build things that didn't exist before. If it's easy, someone else is already doing it. At NVIDIA, we look for the friction. We look for the pain. I often tell students that I wish them great doses of pain and suffering because character is not built on the sunny days. Character is built when your company is 30 days from bankruptcy, as we were during the Revo 128 era. It is built when the entire industry tells you that your vision for accelerated computing is a niche hobby. We had the resilience to stay the course because we followed first principles. We knew that the logic of accelerated computing was irrefutable. We knew that if we could make the computer 1,000,000 times faster at simulating physics, we could unlock a new era of human progress. This is why our organization is so flat. I don't want to sit at the top of a pyramid. I want to be in the middle of the flow of information. I want to know what the engineers are struggling with today, because that struggle is the signal of where the next breakthrough is coming from. In a flat organization, the best idea wins, not the highest title. We move with a sense of urgency that borders on obsession. We run, don't walk, toward the future, because we know that the window of opportunity is always closing. If you are not reinventing yourself every single day, you are falling behind. The prediction that your next coworker is metal is not a scary forecast of job loss. It is a vision of a world where human labor is amplified by intelligent machines. Think about the most dangerous, the most repetitive, or the most physically demanding jobs in our society. Those are the jobs that the metal coworkers will take on. This will free us to do what humans do best: create, imagine, and lead. We are moving from a world of scarcity of intelligence to a world of abundance. When intelligence becomes a commodity, the value of the human spirit becomes the most important differentiator. But to harness this abundance, we need a level of compute that the world has never seen. This is the logic behind the 50 series and our Blackwell architecture. We are building the engines for the AI factory. We are building the brains for the robots. When you look at the power and the complexity of our latest chips, you have to understand that they are not just for gaming or for video editing. They are the infrastructure of the second industrial revolution. They are the furnace where the data is refined into the gold of intelligence. We are solving the impossible problem of real-time world simulation. We are making it possible for an AI to see a scene, understand the materials, understand the lighting, and predict what will happen next, all in a fraction of a second. This is what it takes to have a metal coworker. It takes a machine that can process the world at the speed of light, and we are the only ones building the full stack, from the silicon to the interconnects to the software, to make this a reality. I remember my early days at Denny's cleaning tables and washing dishes. I didn't think of it as menial work. I thought of it as a job that had to be done perfectly. I learned how to be efficient, how to be observant, and how to work as part of a team. In the future, that team will include AI agents and humanoid robots. They will be our coworkers. They will help us manage our time. They will help us design our products, and they will help us build our infrastructure. The humility I learned at Denny's is the same humility we bring to NVIDIA every day. We don't assume we have the answers. We assume we have to learn them. We are a company of learners, not a company of experts. The era of the expert is being challenged by the era of the AI learner. If an AI can learn a new skill in a few hours of simulation, how do we keep up? We keep up by using the AI to accelerate our own learning. We keep up by running toward the technology, not away from it. The 50 series is designed to be that bridge. It is designed to give every individual the power to interact with these new forms of intelligence. It is a portal into a world where your computer is no longer a tool, but a colleague. The transition to metal coworkers is already happening in our own factories. We use robots to help build our GPUs. We use AI to design the next generation of AI. We are living the future that we are selling. And I can tell you, it is not scary. It is exhilarating. It allows us to move faster, to be more precise, and to tackle problems that were previously out of our reach. When we use a digital twin to simulate a factory layout, we save months of time and millions of dollars in errors. When a robot performs a high-precision task, it ensures a level of quality that is simply not possible for a human to maintain for 16 hours a day. This is the first principle of the new economy. Intelligence is the ultimate multiplier. If you have an infinite supply of intelligence, you can solve climate change, you can solve energy, you can solve disease, but you need the metal to manifest that intelligence in the physical world. You need the sensors, the actuators, and the compute density to make it real. That is what we are building. We are building the nervous system and the brain of the future. The people who are worried about the scary prediction are looking at the world through the lens of the past. They see a fixed pie of jobs and a fixed pie of resources. But the new industrial revolution is not about dividing the pie. It is about making the pie infinite. It is about creating new industries that we can't even imagine today. Who would have imagined the App Store or the cloud engineer in the 1980s? In 10 years, we will have robot trainers, simulation architects, and AI ethicists as common professions. Your next coworker being metal is just the beginning of a massive expansion of what is possible for humanity. We are pushing the boundaries of what silicon can do because we have to. The appetite for intelligence is growing faster than our ability to manufacture it. This is why we feel the urgency. This is why we are constantly reinventing our architectures. We are in a race against the limits of physics. And the only way to win that race is to be more resilient, more creative, and more humble than our competition. We have to be willing to fail in public so that we can learn in private. When you think about your next coworker, don't think of a machine that is coming to replace you. Think of a machine that is coming to empower you. Think of a partner that will allow you to be the best version of yourself. At NVIDIA, we are building the tools to make that partnership possible. We are building the 50 series to give you the local compute you need to control your own AI. We are building the Blackwell systems to power the global AI factories, and we are doing it all with a run, don't walk mindset. The logic is simple. The more intelligence we can produce, the better the world will be. The more we can automate the physical tasks, the more we can focus on the human ones. This is the truth of the era we are entering. It is an era of partnership between man and metal. It is an era where the impossible becomes the routine. And it is an era that belongs to those who are brave enough to embrace it. Embracing it means understanding that the world we have built, every door handle, every staircase, every tool, every factory floor, was designed for the human form. This is a first principle of the new robotics. Why are we so focused on humanoid robots? It's not because of science fiction. It's because the most efficient way to integrate AI into our physical infrastructure is to give it a body that fits the world we've already built. We don't need to redesign the world for the robots. We are building the robots for the world. This is the ultimate impossible problem we are solving at NVIDIA. We are building the foundational models for robot motion, the Project GR00T of our era, where the machine learns to perceive and act by watching us, by simulating us, and by refining its own neural networks in a digital twin of reality. When you look at the RTX 50 series, you have to see it through this lens. It is the engine that allows you to run these embodied AI models locally. It is the processor that handles the massive influx of sensor data, vision, touch, force, that a metal coworker needs to function safely next to you. In the old days, we thought of a worker as someone who followed a manual. In the future, the manual is the AI model itself, and it is constantly updating. Your metal coworker will be the most diligent learner you've ever met. It will never get tired, it will never lose focus, and it will learn from every mistake made by every other robot in the network. This is the power of the AI factory scaled down to the size of a workstation. I've often reflected on the resilience it took to get here. People see the trillion-dollar valuation, but I see the scars. I see the years where we were the underdog, the years where people thought GPU computing was a dead end. We survived because we were willing to be misunderstood for a long time. We were willing to face the pain of the market skepticism. I remember sitting in meetings where experts told me that the CPU would eventually absorb the GPU and NVIDIA would disappear. If we had listened to the experts, we would have optimized ourselves into irrelevance. Instead, we followed the logic of the problem. We knew that the demand for pixels would eventually become a demand for simulated reality, and that simulated reality would eventually become the training ground for artificial intelligence. We built for a future that didn't exist yet, and that is the work of a lifetime. At NVIDIA, we don't have a strategy in the traditional sense. We have a mission. Our mission is to solve the problems that the world doesn't even know it has yet. This requires a level of internal trust that can only exist in a flat organization. If an engineer has a breakthrough in how to accelerate a transformer model, I want to know about it today, not 3 months from now, after it has passed through 5 layers of vice presidents. We operate at the speed of the technology we create. We run, we don't walk. Because in this industry, the moment you start walking, the physics of the market will pull you backward. You are either accelerating or you are becoming obsolete. There is no standing still. The metal coworker is the ultimate expression of accelerated computing. It is the culmination of everything we have learned about graphics, physics, and AI. When you interact with one of these machines, you will realize that the scary part isn't the robot itself. It's the realization of how much human potential we have been wasting on tasks that don't require a human soul. We are on the verge of a productivity explosion that will dwarf the first industrial revolution. When every person has an AI assistant and every business has a fleet of metal coworkers, the cost of doing things will drop toward zero, while the value of thinking of things will reach infinity. This is why I say, don't buy the 50 series just for the games. Buy it because you want to be an architect of this new world. Buy it because you want to be the one who trains the robots, who builds the simulations, and who defines the ethics of the machine age. We are giving you the same tools we use to build the future. We are democratizing the power of the AI factory. There is a fundamental truth that I've learned over 30 years of leading this company. The world belongs to the learners. The experts are people who know how things were done. The learners are the people who will discover how things will be done. Your metal coworker will be the ultimate learner. And to stay ahead, you must be a learner too. You must be willing to let go of the old general purpose mindset and embrace the accelerated future. You must be willing to fail, to suffer through the complexity, and to come out the other side with a deeper understanding of the first principles of the new economy. We are building a future where the computer is no longer a tool that you use, but a partner that you work with. This partner, this metal coworker, will be the greatest collaborator in human history. It will help us map the stars, it will help us clean the oceans, and it will help us build a society where scarcity is a choice, not a necessity. This is the vision that keeps me running every single day. This is why I still feel like the busboy at Denny's, trying to do the best job possible, trying to clear the table for the next great thing. The logic of this revolution is irrefutable. Computing is no longer about transistors, it is about intelligence. And intelligence is no longer about code, it is about training. The embodied AI, the metal coworker, is the final piece of the puzzle. It is the manifestation of the AI revolution in our physical reality. It is the end of the computer as a box and the beginning of the computer as a presence. We are at the threshold of a world that will be unrecognizable to us in 20 years. It will be a world of abundance, of creativity, and of deep partnership between biological and digital intelligence. It is a world that we are building together right now with every chip we design and every model you train. It is a future that is bright, it is fast, and it is inevitable. I want to thank you for joining me on this journey. Whether you are a gamer, a developer, or a visionary, you are part of the NVIDIA family. You are the reason we push the limits of physics. You are the reason we embrace the struggle. You are the reason we run. I am incredibly excited to see the metal coworkers you will build and the lives you will transform with this technology. This is our moment. This is our revolution. Before I leave the stage today, I want to make sure we stay connected. If you believe in this vision, if you want to be at the front lines of the AI revolution, please subscribe to the channel and give this video a like. It helps us build this community of thinkers and doers. And if you have questions about the 50 series, about robotics, or about how to prepare for your new metal coworker, please leave them in the comments below. I, Jensen, will be looking through them and I will respond to your questions quickly. I want to know what you're planning to build. I want to know what challenges you are ready to solve. The future is here. It is made of silicon, it is made of software, and very soon it will be made of metal. It is a world that demands our best, our most resilient, and our most visionary selves. Run, don't walk. I'll see you in the future.